Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dini Andini. My student's number is 192122040. And here I'd like to explain about the effect of using English song on students' vocabulary mastery or my research proposal. Right. There are the background of the study here. The first one is teaching English to young learner is focused on teaching vocabulary. As we know that As we know that vocabulary takes a very important part in our lives, and then vocabulary, without word to represent a wide range of meanings, communication in a second language cannot happen in any meaningful way, no matter how well the pupils learn grammar or how well the sounds of a second language are learned. Of all the parts of learning a foreign language, vocabulary appears to be the least systematized and well served. And then teaching English to young learner is focused on teaching vocabulary because they are still being exposed to a new language. And then teaching English is not quite easy, it's quite difficult. So teachers should devise tactics or techniques or instructional material or learning media that's suitable for them. And then vocabulary is one of the linguistic components that undirected teaching learning includes in school in Indonesia. It's corporate four language skills. The first one is reading, writing, and speaking and listening. And then the next one is song. Song is an interesting teaching material for learning English. As cited by Phillips 1999, state that another principle of vocabulary learning is if the learning is enjoyable, then it will be memorable. Can you imagine how enjoyable song if we use it as a tool for learning? This if we use it as a tool for learning. And then what kind of songs that I use in this research? There are an English songs, of course, because we learn about English language. So the English songs used in this research. The third background of the study is English songs are available in our nation nowadays, and a big number of Indonesians, including teenagers, like listening to them. As we know that the availability of English song is very easy to find. We know that so many platforms serve English songs such as Spotify, Joox, or even we can download it in Google. So I think it is the effect of the globalization that makes us easier to access anything from the outside world. But nowadays, not just in another country, we are Indonesian. There are so many musicians in Indonesian creates songs in English language, and it can be a plus value for us because the if we used teaching material, we need to looking for a very the availability is need to be easy to find. I think that's about English songs. Then why I choose songs for for teaching material, because because it is the availability of songs or English song is very easy to find. And then the next one is formulation of the study. because the title is the effect of using English song on students' vocabulary mastery. So the formulation of the study is using English song as a medium for learning affected students' vocabulary mastery. Like, is there any, what is it? Is students' vocabulary mastery increase after they learn English learn vocabulary using songs? Is a student's vocabulary mastery increased after they learning vocabulary using songs? And then the next one is operational definition. There are 3 operational definition here that make this research clear. It was like a warm up definition that are the keywords of the research, I think. Yeah. The first one is the definition of vocabulary, and then the definition of teaching materials, and then the definition of songs. And then the aims of the study is, of course, to find out the effect of using English song on students' vocabulary mastery. Like the formulation of study, this was like to, to answer the formulation of the study, where the result of the study is to find out the effect of using English song on students' vocabulary mastery. And then the next one is significances of this study. This study for students, the first one for students. I hope this study can help the students to learn how to master their vocabulary with using song as a tool for learning. And then the second one is for teacher as a guide to improve English language teaching, particularly vocabulary instruction, and it will allow them to pick better media to teach vocabulary. I couldn't say it is the best media, but I could say it is a better media, because not every media or teaching materials can apply in every students that are, because there are weaknesses and strengths, of course, of this method. And unfortunately, I mean, in this teaching media or teaching materials, the weaknesses is, you know what, if we listen the word song, it can be linked to a word singing, right? So many people link the word songs into singing. So when when we as a teacher give a material about songs, so the student will like, are we going to sing in front of the class? No, that's was not correct, because in this research, learning using song is not just singing in front of the class. I know that singing in front of the class is one of things that scare the student, because they will be very shy if the teacher order them to singing in front of the class. It was like the anxiety of the student will rise when the teacher ordered them to singing in front of the class. So here in this research, I provide some activities that can help students using song as a tool for learning, but it's not singing. It's not just singing. Remember me, using song as a tool for learning is not just singing in front of the class, but there are so many activity of it. And then for the researchers, or for me and another researchers, maybe it might inspire the researchers to work harder and more creatively to enhance language mastering skill. And then there are theoretical framework. The first one is definition of vocabulary, and then types of vocabulary, and then instructional materials or teaching materials. Then definition of song, types of song, and an example of activity using song for vocabulary learning. This is a very important part in this research. There are example of activity or the activity that I'm going to use. I'm going to apply to students to to get the result of this study. The first one is song illustration. It was like draw simple pictures, illustration, a story of the song, then cut them out and make a worksheet with the picture placed on it properly, and ask students or learners to listen to the song and put the pictures in order. And then the second one is mixed up line. It's mixed up order the lines, then ask learner to listen to the song and put the lines in the right order. And then finding the word. This activity is based on asking students to listen for words and write them down with curtain sounds in the song. This activity is based on Linsenberg 2004 and Molinsky 2000 in a Journal of English Language Applied Linguistics. And then the research method that I use in this research is experimental research. Experimental research, and then exactly through experimental design and post-test only control group. So in this design, the experimental group and the control group were formed using a random procedure, and then both could be considered equal. Furthermore, the experimental group was given treatment. After the treatment has been given for a certain period of time, then the dependent variable or is measured in the two groups, and the results are compared to the differences. And this is the design RX0204R. Right. The purpose of this design is that there are two groups chosen at random. The first group was given the treatment while the second group was not, then measure, while the second group used as the control group was not treated but only measured. And then the next one is population and sample. In this research is the first one, population in this study is students of SMA 4 Tasikmalaya. And then the sample of in this study was class 10 using a sampling technique, cluster sampling. And then the next one is data collection. The data collection of two tests. That is pre-test and post-test. The pre-test was given to student measure basic knowledge of vocabulary mastery. Then post-test was given after the treatment to find out the improvement of students' vocabulary mastery after they studied using song as a learning media, but the pretest doesn't affect it or it didn't used. So the researcher just or me just use post-test data. There are two groups chosen random. The first group was given treatment while the second group was not. The first group was treated by the researchers and then measured, while the second group used a control group was not treated but only measured. And then the data analysis or in actual research, the effect of using song on students' vocabulary mastery is analyzed by different tests using statistical t-test. For example, if there is a significant difference between the experimental group and the control group, then the treatment given has a significant effect. Right. I think that's all from me. This is the references of the study. And then I hope you understand about my explanation or my research design. Right. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.